It's about that time of day again here, boys and girls. Newsletter time. Welcome back, welcome back. My name is Joseph James with SchoolOfTrade.com. Sidewaysmarkets.com is our blog address. It is a pleasure to have you here this evening with our nightly newsletter for October 28th, 2014, a Tuesday evening here, broadcasting live from our corporate headquarters in a very sunny fall afternoon here in Los Angeles, California. How we do today? Boy, what a horrible, horrible trade call last night on the Russell. Yeah, no value in this newsletter. Stay the heck away from this newsletter. Oh, I'm being facetious. You got to love the English language. We'll talk more about that Russell in a moment. We had a fantastic day today. Hope you guys did as well. It's about that time of day again, though. Let's do our recap here on what happened today. We'll get ready for tomorrow with our nightly newsletter here at School of Trade. Before we jump into our newsletter here for the 28th day of October, it's almost Halloween, isn't it? I want to remind you guys, make sure you get over here to sidewaysmarkets.com. Make sure you're watching this video on our blog right now. There's 3 important reasons why I think you should get over here to sidewaysmarkets.com if you're not watching this video on our blog. If you're watching it on our YouTube page, there's going to be a link below the video that will take you over to our blog. Reason number 1, you can download all of the charts I'm going to be showing you tonight, as well as some bonus charts, right? So you can download all the charts by clicking the link below the video. Second thing here, very important, upper left-hand corner. We get emails, we get comments on our blog, we get phone calls all day long. How can I get access to the trade room? Well, if you're an advanced member, you've got unlimited access and your membership never expires. It's a lifetime membership to our trade room as an advanced member. But if you're not a member yet, I have a free pass for you to come out and join me in my trade room at your leisure. All I need is your name and your email address, and I'll send you an invite. I'll send you a free pass to our live trade room, upper left-hand corner. Third thing, you said there were 3 things here, JJ. Yeah, third thing here, lower left-hand corner. Find my ugly mug and look right above it, and you'll see a spot there for your name and your email address. We have a nightly newsletter mailing list. That way I can send you a specific email that will take you right to that newsletter for this evening. That way it's as easy as falling off a horse, right? Just check your email, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Monday through Thursday, and you'll see my email there. Now, if you join the newsletter, if you grab your free pass, I'm going to send you a verification email so you can give me approval to be emailing you and to prove you're not a robot. So please make sure, check your spam, check your junk, all right, and grab your free pass, register for your nightly newsletter, and don't forget, I'm going to give you all the charts I'm using every evening right below that video. All right, guys. You ready to rock and roll today or what? Helmets on? Seatbelts fastened? I better hurry up, guys. We get the first pitch, Game 6. Boy, I got a good feeling about tonight. My boys in Kansas City, I really need those Royals to pull this one out here tonight. All right, enough about that. That's later on. Let's get rocking and rolling here. What happened today? Well, like I said last night, we were bullish on the Russell, right? That was my exact words last night. But do you recall what I said last night? I said, don't even think about buying that high. And sure enough, you can see this is exactly what happened. Last night on the newsletter, I told you guys, don't think about buying that high. Wait for it to pull back. And you can see with your own 2 eyes, gave you guys the exact entry location and not only 1, but 2 and 3 final targets. Don't take my word for it, guys. You should not believe a word I say right now. Go back and watch last night's newsletter and you will see for yourself, right? I think I mentioned a few times, don't think about buying that high. So clearly here, what happened here or in today's session in the Russell, we get exactly what we had bargained for. It was a little bit sloppier at the beginning of the session than I would have liked, right? We kind of blame that on the FOMC right now. Today was the first day of the FOMC meeting, by the way. But we can see here, though, right now on this Russell, we have an extremely bullish move higher today. So with that bullish move higher today, now we have a scenario where, once again, I'm not going to buy right now. This is the worst possible time you could be buying right now in that Russell. I'm going to say right now the exact same thing I did last night. Trend is up. We've got 3 steps to success. And watch how this all comes together. 3 steps to success. What's the first step? Trend. What's my trend? Now, I could cheat and use the indicator, right? The indicator upper right? It's only Tuesday, Joe. It's only Tuesday. Upper left-hand corner, you can see I've got that green indicator, right? That tells me the trend, but I don't need the indicator. I can see we got higher highs, right? We got higher lows, green clouds above all the key moving averages. Relatively easy there. You said there were 3 steps, Joe. What's the second step? My trend tells me what? It tells me long or short, up or down. It tells me direction. What's my second clue? What's my second step to success? A setup. Now, what exactly is a setup? A setup is nothing more than a place where I should be looking for a trade. It's gonna specifically keep me out of trouble from buying the highs and selling the lows, right? A trade setup, we teach our students over a dozen different trade setups, and I can see symmetry, channel, trigger zone, reversal line. I can see a number of different setups in this chart just by glancing at it. I'm going to teach you guys as students all of our specific trade setups. So where, because I have a bullish trend, I want to buy, where would a buy setup be located? I'll tell you right now, it's not up at these highs, that's for sure. I look at the chart and I see a lot of symmetry. There's a lot of symmetry below. First of all, the first buy setup will come at the low of this channel. That's a channel setup. Very simple. Second setup, 1122, symmetry setup. The third setup that I see, reversal line setup, 1120. Keep an eye on that 1120. Remember that number, folks. Remember that number. That's going to be an important number the rest of this session here while we talk about the Russell. Okay? 1120. There's our third different type of buy setup. So we've got channel setup, symmetry setup, reversal line setup, then we go lower. I've got additional symmetry here, 1115, symmetry here, 1106.4. Then we go into the fourth type of setup, trigger zone setup, 93.6. Trigger zone setup, 61.9. Dare I say double bottom setup. What's that say? 38.2, right? Double top setup. Sell the high, right? That obviously wouldn't be a buying setup, but you get the point, right? So we got lots of setups. Now, there was a third clue, right? There was a third step to success. So we know the trend is up. I want to be a buyer. Where's my next buy setup? That's the challenge, right? We're well overbought. For good reason. We cashed that huge profit target off last night's newsletter. Got paid, right? We don't want to go buying again. We want to wait for it to pull back. What's my third clue? What's my third rule? Entry trigger. Where do you get the entry trigger? Where's the entry trigger on this chart? It's not on this chart. We're going to have to come out and see me tomorrow morning in the trade room, and I'll teach you all the entry patterns and all the triggers. Basically, I'm going with my trend, waiting for a setup, but I'm not going to blindly buy the setup. The setup is not the buy trigger. The setup is the area to look for the buy trigger, and I got to wait for the trigger tomorrow morning. All right, guys, come out and see me tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., and you'll be there right with me. Okay? Most important thing, though, right now is look at all this room. Look at all that room we got. That looks like a wide open space that is just too tempting. Well, let's keep going. Take a look at the next chart. We've got my Russell 64 down to my Russell 32. Now, look at the volume down at the bottom of this chart. Look at the volume at the bottom of this chart. The volume at the bottom clearly confirms we're moving higher. Clearly confirms these bulls were in full control most of the day today. Look what happened. Look, towards the end of the session, though, those buyers, they started taking a little bit of a siesta, possibly ahead of tomorrow's FOMC announcement. Don't really care why, but we can definitely see, though, that there was some exhaustion as we were pushing higher, right? There was some exhaustion here as we were pushing higher. So with that exhaustion, we now think, okay, if they try to run this up one more time here overnight, I would definitely be looking at a possible double top reversal. Don't forget, make sure volume confirms. If you're a client of mine, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Compare the highs, compare the volume. Don't just blindly sell it. What I want to see is, I want to see on this double top, I want to see a higher high in price, and I want to see a lower high on the indicator. I'm looking for regular divergence. Okay, I don't expect you to know all that. If you're not a student of mine, I teach all of this to all of our students, how to look for reversal patterns by using regular divergence. Bottom line for right now, though, is this is just tasty. This is just tasty. We're looking really good here for a short right now, down to that top of that channel, right? Down to the buy zone here at 24. There's that 1120 area again. Like I said, that 1120 area is going to be on our radar, and then we go down even further here. So 3 steps to success. What's my trend? Easy. I'm bullish. Want to be a buyer. Where do I want to be a buyer? At a buy setup. The second step to success. Where am I going to find a buy setup? Right down below. Trigger zone setup. You can't see it very well right here. There we go. Now let's get it this way. There you go. Okay, we've got trigger zone set up, 1124. Reversal line set up, 1120. Remember I told you, I think that 1120 is going to be a very important level for you by this time tomorrow. Okay, mark my words. What else do we have here? I drew a trend line, right? Trend lines drawn in. Trend lines set up. Channels set up. Trigger zone set up. The list goes on. So a new trader will be encouraged to wait for price to pull back and then wait for the entry trigger as it goes higher again. An experienced trader who knows how to read a reversal can be looking for those shorts right now, right? Down to that entry here at that setup at 1124, okay? Don't forget, the top of that channel will be support, right? So don't be surprised if it comes down, goes back up, and then keeps going, okay? So look for that channel high to be support. Last but not least here on the Russell. If you're looking to get short right now, you're going against the trend. But I can easily see the logic behind it. Big pops, big drops. So we know there's going to be some profit taking. There will be no smart money holding trades ahead of tomorrow afternoon's FOMC announcement. So you are foolish to be in an open position right now. Anything large, right? We're talking big size here because you're not going to be able to get out, right, with at least all your position intact tomorrow at FOMC. So if you're getting short here, right, because of the obvious profit taking, I've got targets here at the reversal line, targets at the high of the channel, targets at the top and the bottom of the buy zone, 24 and 18.1, and more targets down here at 1109.8 and 1104.8. So use those as targets if you're looking to sell these highs. And again, don't forget, the top of that prior channel is possibly your best target, right? It's the easy one. And then don't forget the 1120 area right there, 1120. That will most likely become a very big sticking point tomorrow if we get down there. Okay, mark my words. Let's keep going. We go from the mighty Russell to that funny yellow metal they call gold futures. Now, we're still moving lower here right now. And again, like I said last night, don't ask me why. Blame it on consolidation ahead of FOMC. We talked about this today in the trade room once again, how sleepy and sloppy this market was yesterday, today. We should not be surprised. Be very, very careful on gold. Okay, I'm going to repeat the same thing I said last night. There's one market that is significantly affected by FOMC, and it is the gold market. Okay, next would be currencies, right? And then after that would be the E-minis and then your commodities. So right now we're seeing a major consolidation around this 1228 area ahead of tomorrow afternoon's FOMC. So be very careful. Now, as I'm talking about this gold tonight, I need to remind you all that well, probably not this chart, but the coming charts could literally be picked up, shaken around like one of those old Etch-a-Sketch boards, right? Once that news comes out tomorrow, everything goes berserk on gold. So we're going to do our best tonight to be prepared. But in all reality, we got to be ready to update this stuff tomorrow afternoon after that news comes out. All right, let's keep going. We can see here we are below that key resistance still. We haven't been able to stay above that 38.9. That level has been on my radar for over a month now. We thought we were going to 66.1. That didn't materialize, and now we're thinking back down to that 83, possibly to 49. But again, we have a big obstacle in our way, and that is tomorrow's FOMC announcement. So it's not a very good use of our time right now to go projecting things until we see what it looks like at about 2:25 tomorrow afternoon. Okay? On the gold right now, 32. We told you guys to be looking for the shorts. That's exactly what we got today. It was relatively slow, but still the selling opportunities were there. If you took them, you made money today on the gold. Be careful though right now until we see that news report come out tomorrow. There's not a lot of new information on this chart from last night. We still have that key level of support. Remember this, we talked about this yesterday. This was resistance before. We got above it, stayed above it, and we said, all right, we're going back to 1300, but not so fast. Now we see this consolidation ahead of tomorrow's FOMC announcement. I have this somewhat sloppy head and shoulders you can see here. Kind of follow the bouncing ball here. You can see it's a bit on the sloppier side, but you can definitely see this is a head and shoulders. I'm going to draw the neckline through here, and you'll notice that neckline puts us right about there. If I take the length of the head down to the neck and project that down, it's going to put us right about that 1205. Okay, that's why I say the head and shoulders target on this is around 1205, 1205.1 to be very specific. Again, I can't overemphasize enough, this could all be different tomorrow afternoon, but as of right now though, I have targets below me for the shorts at 1219.5, 1210.9, 1198.8, 1191.5. There's not a lot I can do right now to project into late tomorrow, and I don't expect to see much personality on gold between now and tomorrow afternoon. So just be careful. If we happen to get a gift from the trading gods and this price jumps up, I will be loving life here. I hope we get the chance to sell these two areas here. 1238.9, 1248.5. I just don't see it happening the way the price action looked today. So if we can, definitely sell those areas up top, right? That would be just delicious. But I'm not talking about selling it after that news tomorrow. Okay? After that news comes out tomorrow, all hell will break loose here on gold. So be very, very careful tomorrow. But if we get these levels tested before the news comes out, I'm definitely bearish, and I've got two sell setups here above me. If I can get short here, new lower low, right? Selling short, now I've got targets waiting for me, right? You get targets waiting for you to the downside. Okay? Nice and easy. Last but not least here on gold, and it really is last. It's a sideways range. You can see really the only thing that we get from this, we get two really big clues on this chart. These sell zones overhead, those are the same sell zones we just talked about, right? So nothing new there. So those are the same areas we talked about before. Okay, nothing new there. Most importantly, we have this channel. Okay, the old channel is going to be important. If we collapse here, well, again, the ideal would be we go up and then we go down. But I'm going to use both the high and the low of that channel as targets. Okay? Don't forget about those old channels. The only time I remove a trend line is when this starts happening. This is the only time I will remove a trend line, is when it just blatantly doesn't care about it anymore, right? That's the only time I'll remove a trend line, is when it clearly does not respect the level anymore, right? But we know that these trend lines, don't delete them off your chart, because again, if we get that little gift from the trading gods, we can get short here sometime early tomorrow morning, we're going to have a great target waiting for us right back at that channel trend line, and again, possibly right back again at the low of that channel. So keep those trend lines on there. That's one big addition. The second thing on this chart is we have the sideways range, right? Not difficult to see. So just remember, stay the heck away from the middle. Stay away from the middle of any range. Buy the lows, sell the highs. I really should have put another setup on here. This could easily be a triple top, right? So another sell setup at the high. So really 3 spots here to sell if this price goes higher. If it goes lower, I don't have much to work with right now. I've got to get below that low. I've got to get a new lower low if I want to get selling again, right, overnight or tomorrow. But again, I just don't think it's going to be easy to get that stuff to work, right? We shall see. We shall see. Gold is going to be that market for us, right? Gold is going to be that market. We got to stay patient on gold until the news comes out tomorrow. Wrapping up here with crude. Looking at the black gold, the Texas T, crude oil futures. We're still well below those January 2014 lows. We saw 79.04 earlier this week, and now you can see here, big collapse. I got this trend line down here, and that trend line might be a very important thing for tomorrow. See, tomorrow what's going to happen on crude is crude traders are going to be looking for, basically, they'll be reading between the lines to see that they are not going to provide more stimulus. That's what we're looking for tomorrow. Crude will go lower with the thought that we're not going to keep loading up the gun, right, and blasting away with more stimulus. Right now, buyers on crude oil are hoping that tomorrow Janet Yellen and the crew at the Fed talk about how they're going to unload the bazooka, right, of stimulus. It's not going to happen, right? We're not going to hear that tomorrow. So most likely tomorrow we're going to hear more fuel for the sellers tomorrow. In other words, we're data dependent. We're not going to rush to judgment for raising rates, right? We're still watching our inflation targets, blah, 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 blah. Same Feds we've been listening to since the last FOMC report. So be aware, tomorrow is that day. Tomorrow's type of news is one of those news events that you want to be ready for big moves. And this chart tells you exactly where that big move will likely take us to. We could see that trend line tested tomorrow afternoon. Okay, again, I have no idea what the news is going to be like tomorrow. Most importantly, I have no idea what the reaction is going to be. It's so difficult to anticipate the actual reaction. But we do know, though, that tomorrow crude traders will be listening for that word stimulus. They'll be reading between the lines to see if they're going to be getting more help, right, from the Federal Reserve Bank here in the U.S. They're desperately looking for more demand right now on the black gold. They're not getting it. What's my trend right now on crude? Down. Clear to see, bearish trend. Lower lows, lower highs, red clouds, below the moving averages. Easy. Now what do I do in a downtrend? I sell. Where do I sell? The best sell is going to come at a sell zone, at a sell setup. So where would my sell setups be? Well, we do have this January low. That'll be a reversal line setup around 84. Okay, so you get 84. That will be your first potential sell at the high of that range, right? You get a little wedge there. So first sell would be here at the 84. The second one, of course, now would be up at the 86.60. Don't forget you've got that trend line there as well. So if it doesn't react to the 86.60, wait for the 88.38. I don't think we go all the way there tomorrow, but this is crude we're talking about. This is FOMC we're talking about, right? There is no word can't. Can't should not be in our vocabulary for tomorrow, okay? So be open-minded to everything. Don't commit to anything right now. Wait and see what the reaction is tomorrow. But as we stand right now, before the news comes out tomorrow, sellers, baby. I'm looking to sell this crude. Keeping on moving here. 64 down to 32. Now, this thing was stingy today. If you remember, we were talking about this last night, right? This looks like we're in the same spot. We are. We're actually right about the same place we were last night, a little bit higher. We're right at the top of that channel. 3 steps. 3 steps. What are they? Trend. Setup. Entry trigger. Okay, except no imitations, boys and girls. Trend, setup, entry trigger. What's my trend? Down, bearish, right? Easy to see. Lower lows, lower highs, red clouds, easy. Where's my setup? I want to sell. Where's my setup? Channel setup, symmetry setup, trigger zone setup, double top setup, double top setup, double top setup, trigger zone setup. Easy. Just stay patient. That's the hard part. And then what's the third step? Where's my trigger? Well, again, I'm going to teach you guys the trigger in our course materials, in our training classes, and I will also execute those triggers live in real time every day in our live trade room. What are you waiting for? Now, once we get short, where's my targets? 79.72, 79.04, 77.92, 76.87. Again, I want to have a couple wide targets because if I can get into a trade short, hold that baby into the news tomorrow. Okay? Make sure you protect yourself with that, though. Don't do that. My rule of thumb is this. Do not trade with real money on FOMC announcement. You can trade up to it. I'll recommend noon time. Noon is as late as you want to go tomorrow. What I always tell my students in the room is, until you've seen 6 of these, don't even think about putting real money at risk. Again, trade up till 12 tomorrow, but until you've seen 6 of these FOMC announcements, it'll take you almost a year. We only get 8 of them every year. So it'll take you about 9-10 months to see 6 of them. Trust me. Okay? It's not worth losing your trade account. It's not worth losing your career over one day. It's not worth it. So we're looking to be a seller right now here on the crude. Now, I do have the 16 anchor for you guys. There's nothing new on that chart, so I'm not going to waste your time or my time. So the 16 anchor is the exact same scenario. We're at the highs. We're looking for shorts right now. We were looking for it today. We just didn't get any, right? It kept on it tried a couple times. We never got the chance to get the short going. And you can see why, right? It kept grinding higher here. So we're going to keep looking for those shorts tomorrow. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up here with our news for tomorrow. Tomorrow, what do we got here? Tomorrow, we got October 29th. Boy, I got to break out the old Obama costume for my party this weekend. I was thinking about going as Janet Yellen, but, I look so much better with the dark hair. It kind of fits my style a little bit more, right? Plus, I can do a mean Obama impression. I'm having fun with you guys. Back to the plan here. Tomorrow's news. Wednesday, October 29th. Halloween is Friday. We do not have to wait here until tomorrow for news. I've got news tonight. And this is pretty darn important news right now, guys. Industrial production over with our friends in Japan. That's Red Star News at 7:50 p.m. tonight. Be ready. If you're in Asia, if you're in London, be ready for this. It should be a relatively big market mover because they are dealing with some junk out there in Asia right now, and they're watching those news reports, especially industrial production, like a hawk. We go in, we get the lending survey tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Not a lot in Europe, okay? There's nothing in Europe pretty much. Even if there was something, let's be honest, even if there was something in Europe tomorrow, nobody would care. Everyone would be watching the FOMC tomorrow. Now, we go down to 10:30 a.m. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, man, tomorrow's a Wednesday. Wednesday means hump day. No, it means crude inventory day. No, tomorrow is not an inventory day holiday. We still have to deal with those inventories tomorrow at 10:30 on crude. I just saw the API number before I recorded this tonight. The API number came out with the 6th consecutive build in inventories. 6 weeks. 6 weeks From the API number, we've now seen higher inventories. Demand is down. Inventories are up. We're swimming in the black gold around this planet of ours right now. There's a ton of crude out there right now. There's always been a ton of crude out there, except we've been misled to think that there wasn't, right? The reality is there's no shortage of this stuff, right? There's no shortage of this stuff, but they want you to think there is. We've got 1030 inventories tomorrow. This is a really, really big clue. It tells us to be patient on crude. Don't force it tomorrow. Be careful with that black gold tomorrow, guys. Be careful on the crude tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning will probably be one of the most difficult days of the month trading crude. You get a double whammy, right? You get a 1-2 punch. You've got inventories at 10:30, and you got the FOMC at 2 o'clock. I think you're definitely going to see some of that self-fulfilling prophecy kick in because traders know inventory day, not the best day in the world to be trading crude, at least not before the inventories, right? So we're going to be careful before the inventories on Wednesdays. But after the inventories, after 10:30, we usually have very good moves. But we've got the FOMC tomorrow. And really tomorrow, if we're seeing anything after 11 a.m., right, they haven't switched the clocks back here in the U.S. yet, so we still have that disconnect between London time and Eastern time right now, right? Right now, London time is still an hour earlier, or an hour later, I should say, right? It's an hour further out. So, again, usually we're looking for the best trades on crude on Wednesdays after 10:30 a.m., but I'll be very surprised if we see anything moving after 11 o'clock tomorrow. So we're going to really be careful tomorrow on crude. Everything else, though, is, well, no, I shouldn't say that. Gold's going to be pretty tough tomorrow because of the FOMC report, so be very careful on gold. Be careful on crude because of this darn inventory report. It looks like we're going all in on the Russell, right? Put it all on the Russell. I'm joking with you, but definitely it looks like the Russell might be the easy money. The E-minis, I should say, might be the easy money here for tomorrow, especially selling off these highs as we go into tomorrow's FOMC report, all right? One last thing, guys, one last thing. After that news comes out, after you see the FOMC announcement tomorrow released at 2 o'clock, 15 minutes later, they're going to do the press conference. Stay patient. Stay patient. It's going to make you feel like you got to get in. Okay, that price action usually, it usually moves like a wild animal. Don't take the bait. I'm telling you right now, from somebody who's lost way too much money than I care to think about, trying to wrestle those big moves. All right, I made big mistakes doing this early in my career. That's why I'm so adamant about keeping you out of that trouble right now. Once you've seen 6 of these, then put the rent money on the trade. But do not risk your hard-earned capital until you know what you're doing tomorrow after the FOMC announcement. Very few people are going to consistently profit trading FOMC. All right, consistently. You might do it once or twice, but we all know how difficult it is to get lucky multiple times over a long period of time in the markets. So follow that plan. My plan does not involve trying to wrestle this wild animal they call FOMC tomorrow. So follow the plan, careful on crude, careful on gold, and let's go Russell. Let's go Russell. And let's go Royals, right? I'm definitely rooting for the underdog right now. I love the Giants, but I just got to root for the underdog. I'm a sucker for the underdog. And I got a personal buddy on the team pitching for the Royals this year. So I'm a little bit biased, but all in all, though, what an amazing series. What an amazing World Series. And guess what? They're going to crown the World Series champion this weekend, and then we get hockey coming up. The best sport on the planet, right? The real sport, right? Absolutely. I can't wait. Guys and gals, thank you so much for being a part of our newsletter. Thank you so much for all the great emails, all the great feedback we're getting right now. Members, you guys are killing it right now. I mean, literally, I keep getting over and over and over again amazing emails from you guys. Thank you so much for sharing your success right along with the rest of us. Don't forget, grab your free pass, register for the newsletter, download the charts for tonight, and if you so should happen to stumble over to SchoolOfTrade.com, don't forget, here at SchoolOfTrade.com, we have a free trial. one of the very best in the business, if not the very best in the business. That free trial will also give you an invitation to come out and join us in our live trade room. And then, of course, we got 3 levels of membership. They're all extremely valuable, and you'll learn the fundamentals in the beginner's course. You'll learn all the patterns and the setups in the intermediate, and then all the strategies in the advanced course. Guys and gals, I've got someone standing by here 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to answer your questions. I do, yeah. They're caged up in the corner right there. Yeah, I let them out once in a while, get some fresh air. I'm joking with you guys. I'm having some fun, right? Guys, get out of here. Have yourselves a great evening. Come back and see me tomorrow. And good luck tomorrow. Be careful out there ahead of FOMC. Signing off now, guys. My name is Joseph. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. And if not tomorrow morning, we'll see you back in my newsletter again tomorrow night. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.